Planet Earth is such a beautiful place to call home, isn't it? You ever wondered if there was just something more, some greater thing that we could do to really help solve this environmental crisis that's just been plaguing humanity for so long? These political agendas, they seem to really just go nowhere. And I always feel like there's something deeper we can do. And I really feel that eco-spirituality and such grand narratives as the New Earth story that we're all co-creating together are really offering a solution, because they're offering us deep and meaningful perspectives to help us reintegrate ourselves in the sacred web of life, in the sacred ecology of planet Earth. So if you were with me in the last video, you know that I introduced you to this whole concept of eco-spirituality and the New Earth story, and we dove into some really deep subject matter about just contextualizing the problems we're facing today and why ancient wisdom offers us all these incredible mystical insights into seeing Mother Earth as like a living goddess. The wisdom goddess, in fact, is what the ancients used to call her. And how this can really revitalize our lives with sacred purpose and give us some really incredible tools and philosophies that can inspire us and guide us back into healing this most ancient wound of the separation from nature. So the first step I want to share with you today is how important it is to get in touch with this word mythology. So there's a lot of words that get distorted in our present age, and it's funny when you think about the word myth. We often use the word myth to consider something's not true. But if you look at the deeper meaning of myth and mythology, they are actually the guiding stories that cultures, societies, and civilizations use to tell each other, to help consolate each other in a sacred purpose, so that every single individual in that culture felt like they were an integral part of something grander than themselves. This would also help diminish egoic inflation, which is such a big problem, and it would help everyone sort of work together and cooperate towards a very inspiring and sacred purpose. Mythologies are actually something that was revered by our ancient ancestors, indigenous peoples, and a lot of us, really love movies that really get in touch with a sense of mythology, such as Lord of the Rings or even the Star Wars saga. And a lot of people don't know this, but Star Wars was in fact co-written by George Lucas and Joseph Campbell. And Joseph Campbell is a comparative mythologist. He's really was one of the great experts on studying all these sacred narratives of all these different cultures all around the world, and then tying them together, showing that they had linking symbology and themes to show how humanity really is more unified than we might think. And him and George Lucas were actually working on Star Wars to present a kind of new mythology, a kind of unifying cosmic mythology that would inspire all of humanity to come together. And the Jedi Knight is actually based on a lot of ancient warrior archetypes like the samurai and the Knights of the Round Table, those virtuous knights. So now in our present age, we are finding that we're starting to reconsider this even deeper. Is there sacred narratives and mythologies that we need to revitalize, a mythological kind of consciousness? And that's what the New Earth story is all about. It's about positing that we are going through this shift that's been prophesied through ages, and we have an opportunity here to really tell a new story about not only just ourselves individually, but our entire species. And if we think of one thing that unifies us, we can think of our home planet, Mother Earth. And we can also think of the adversity of the environmental crisis, because that is something that we are all facing. So those things combined give us a great atmosphere, a great inspiration to create a kind of collective purpose. And in fact, this is already taking place. A lot of people don't know this, but in the 1970s, James Lovelock, an environmental scientist, actually came up with what's known as the Gaia hypothesis. And what's interesting was that at the same time in the 1970s, the Nag Hammadi Library was translated into English, this 2,000-year-old document that talks about the Earth being this ancient goddess, Sophia. So this idea of Gaia Sophia gripped human consciousness in the 70s, this idea that the Earth was a living goddess, a sentient being. And this was an amazing thing, because we were actually restoring and returning this ancient knowledge that was a huge part of what were known as the mystery schools, these spiritual universities of antiquity that used to spread all over Eurasia, really cultivating the wisdom of ages. And key to that was understanding that Earth is a living goddess, Mother Earth, or Sophia. And it's interesting that Sophia actually translates as wisdom. And you see in a lot of these cultures, they all talk about how she is the wisdom teacher guiding humanity. That's pretty amazing stuff. So the first step on this New Earth story is really restoring the sacred sense of the earth as a living being, even a living goddess. And this helps us get in touch with things like the Taoist idea of the guiding realm, that Mother Earth is always guiding us. And if we revere her as our teacher, we might start every day finding spiritual practices through meditation and prayer to really initiate contact with her and really learn how to connect with her through our heart, which is the organ which her wisdom whispers to us. Now, in the complete Honor All Creation journey, we're going to be broadening these perspectives immensely. We're going to be diving into a lot of ancestral wisdom, archetypal philosophy, earth connecting exercises, even multidimensional realms like spiritualizing our sense of sexuality, and even looking at the whole ET phenomena, because you'll start to see that all of this is part of this kind of renaissance of the new earth. And I'm really, really excited to be offering this program very, very soon with all of you. And tune into the next video in the 6-part series, the 3rd video, because I'm going to be actually sharing with you a next level, very simple practice to connect to the earth spiritual each and every day, so you can feel this for yourself, what it feels like to really connect with the wisdom of Mother Earth. I hope you enjoyed this video, and tune into the next chapter where we learn how to really connect deeply to Mother Earth, to Gaia herself. Be glorious.